Sorry, એનો ફોટો મૂકેલો છે મેં.
હાજી, ઓકે,
મારા
time to
સનનો
start.
ફોટો છે. Yes, start.
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. प्रियतम परमात्मा, हमारी ऐसी सहायता कर कि हम तुझसे अधिक का अधिक प्रेम करें, और अधिक और अधिक, और फिर भी उससे भी अधिक प्रेम करें, जब तक कि हम तुझ में मिलकर एक हो जाने के पात्र बन जाए. और तू हम सबकी ऐसी सहायता कर कि हम अंत अंत तक प्रियतम बाबा का दामन दृढ़ता से पकड़े रहे. बोलिए अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. Beloved Baba, today is the last session of this year, and we would like to invite you to join us. Please come and join us for this entire session and take over the conducting of this session. Let it all happen the way you would like it to happen. We have all worked well. Janice, Danish, Dara, all put in their best. Now, Baba, we leave to you. We leave it all in your hands. Thank you, Baba. Today we have with us a mother and son. Mother's name is Mrs. Rupa Shirpurkar, and the son's name is Dhruv Shirpurkar. They are both from Thane, and they will be sharing their experiences with beloved Meher Baba. Our friend Dhruv has a small handicap, because of which and through which his mother got in contact with Meher Baba, and she is 49 years old and has an advanced diploma in instrumentation engineering. Must be a very intelligent lady. She's dedicated her entire life in taking care of Dhruv and was instrumental in his journey to Baba. They have had many wonderful experiences at Mehrabad, and by Baba's grace have also interaction with Jal Dastur, Amrit and Dara. So without much of this thing, let us all invite Dhruv and his mom, Mrs. Rupa. Jai Baba. Come in, Dhruv.
Jai Baba to everyone. I am Dhruv. I am Dhruv Shirpurkar, and today I am going to speak about my experiences with Baba. With me, my mother, Mrs. Rupa Shirpurkar, is also going to share her experiences. So I'll give a brief introduction of myself. I am 21 years old and I have finished my graduation in economics.
Oh, wow.
So before I begin with my story and journey to Baba, I would like to give a little background about me. So I wanted to give some information about the nature of my disability, mainly to give to better appreciate and understand the context in which some events and experiences have occurred to me related to Baba. So I have a rare genetic disorder called Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. It causes progressive degeneration of muscles and which leads to disability. So I've been using a wheelchair for the...
Sorry, Dhruv, can you speak a bit louder, please? Or raise your volume from your side.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, so I have a rare genetic disorder called Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, which leads to progressive degeneration of muscles and which leads to disability. I have been using a wheelchair since my schooling years, and many of my experiences are largely more dependent upon my disability. So my disability and the problems that I have faced throughout my life. Now, when I look back with when I have reached Baba, I feel that all that suffering, all those problems, all were meant for me to reach Baba. This reminds me of a line that Baba had mentioned in a letter to one of his lovers. It was to a lady. So she had a lot of problems in her in the years before she reached Baba. So Baba told her that this line remained with me, that all of your suffering has led you to me, and that makes the suffering worth it. The entire suffering in the world is worth to be with Baba, to be contacted with, to be by Baba. So this disease has really given me many opportunities to experience his love and also to love him back more and more. I'll begin my journey now.
Sorry to interrupt, Dhruv. I just want to say two things. For those of us who may not know him, this champion, Mr. Dhruv, is one rare person who himself has offered to come and talk. I wish more people did that on this forum. That is number one. And number two, about his muscular dystrophy. Eraj Jasawala, towards the fag end of his time, he also suffered from muscular dystrophy. So this is just for general knowledge. Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Now I'll begin with my story now. So for the first time I went to Mehrabad was in the year 2016. So I was in my 10th standard in 2016. I finished my 10th standard in the same year. So it all started really with my mother. So my mother used to read a lot of, and still reads, a lot of spiritual and philosophical books. So she read many authors. One author she came across was, we all must be knowing, was Rusbai Bharucha. He's a Baba lover and also a Sai Baba lover. So he read his book, The Fakir. She liked that book. Then she read more and more of his books. So then she came across a book called The Last Marathon. So now I don't know exactly what that book was about. I have not read it, but it contained, it discussed about various perfect masters like Sai Baba, Guru Nanak, and also beloved Baba. So on the cover of that book was a photo of Baba during his younger days. And so I didn't know who that person was. I just was somehow attracted to that photograph. It was just so beautiful and radiant. At that time, I was not so much spiritual as such. So I thought, must be some saint, someone. I'm not that much interested. My mother read the book, and then she came across the part about beloved Baba. So she was very impressed, and she told this to my aunt. My aunt also, my maternal aunt also reads many such spiritual books. So she also read, and both were very interested. Their curiosity was arisen, like who is this person, like who is Baba, and they mainly what mainly was so that attracted them was the fact that Baba maintained a silence for most of his life, for most of his avtaric period. So at that time, we didn't know he was the avatar of God, but this just like struck to us, like this must be someone spiritually advanced. The curiosity was so much that my mother did some more research through on the internet. Then she came across a video on YouTube, uh, which sort of told the samadhi. I remember it was in the afternoon, so I was with her. Then she was watching that video. It had the Bujave Aarti in the background, and it was really a lovely video because it went around various places. I went around the samadhi and also inside the samadhi, and the experience was so beautiful that my mother was immediately impressed. I did watch that video, but I didn't feel the same way about it as my mother did. Anyway, so my mother watched that video and she decided and she wanted to go to Merabar. She was quite unsure how we are going to go there. Where is it? Like it is quite far away from Mumbai. Like with my medical condition, it can get a bit difficult. But anyway, by Baba's grace, we managed. So she wanted to go. Now look how Baba brought about things. So I passed my 10th standard. So I got 92%. So my mother, like all of my family was very happy. So my maternal aunt and my grandparents, they have this regular practice of going to Shirdi. So they go there every year. So then plans were made कि अभी exam हो गया है and we have got such a good result. Even my elder aunt's cousin also was in 10th standard. So दोनों का अच्छा result आया है. Let's go to Shirdi. ट्रिप अभी इन अप्रैल और मई ट्रिप हमने प्लान किया. So my aunt was also interested in Baba. So we did some research on Google and found out that we could go to Shirdi via Mehrabad. It was nearby, around 1.5 hours away. So we made the plans. Then we left. So we went via Pune, picked up my cousin because he lives in Pune, and then we went ahead. Now the surprising aspect of this was that we did decide to go to Shirdi via Mehrabad. We put Mehrabad in the GPS, and so ideally it should take us to Lower Mehrabad or near the railway line where the board Mehrabad is. So instead of taking us there, it took us to some fields in Arangav. Like we were going, the road became thoda kacha, lot of potholes. Okay, let's go ahead. Then the road completely disappeared, and we were in the middle of a farm. And we were so irritated, like because the road was very rough and I was like bouncing. So and then we had to go to Shirdi. So we decided कि ये अभी रहने दो, we'll try again later. We देर हो रहा है because it was in the afternoon. So we left that attempt. We went to Shirdi. But my experience at Shirdi was not so great because the first problem was that when we went to the temple, there was a ramp there in the temple, but they had just locked it off. We told them, please open. Like the security person, that didn't listen. Didn't open it. So anyway, picked up, the chair was picked up, we went inside, took darshan. But somehow I didn't like the atmosphere there. Like was like pura, like lot of crowd, and I simply couldn't feel the connect. Like many people share experiences of the beautiful peace and calm that they feel. I didn't feel. I was not satisfied. Anyway, so I took everything happened. Then we decided, and then we were about to leave. So my aunt said, let's try again. Let's try to go to Mehrabad again. This time, we didn't put on the GPS. We know that approximately either Mehrabad hai. We went there and asked a few people. And this time we could go to the Samadhi. So in the first attempt we couldn't go, but this time we finally found the Baba Samadhi and we went there. So the moment I went there, I knew that this is the place. In some voice, something in my heart just turned and I knew that idhar aana hi hai. Like the environment at the Samadhi was so beautiful. I had never experienced it before. The peace and the calm, and I cannot describe it how beautiful I felt. I was immediately attracted, and like we decided to go down. So earlier we had tried to we asked the volunteer there who was giving the prasad if we can take the car near the samadhi and take darshan. So the guard there said no, that the dust will go on to the samadhi, and no, it won't be. So we decided, like I had to get out. So I use a power chair, but it was all packed up in the car. So my father was not convenient with it. So anyway, we used the wheelchair there. I went inside, took my first darshan, and immediately I knew that I have to come here again. We also met Krush Gandhi there. So he gave us his book. And there we found out that we could even stay at Mehrabad. And I was like, nahi, abhi wapas jana, I will stay there. So we found out the information about MPR. So we informed them. So we made a booking. So we informed them that we have this, like my parents informed them that my son has this medical condition. Okay, can arrangement be made? Is it okay if we come? Like medical facilities and all that, if it's okay. So they said yes, it's okay. So we made the booking, and I went to the and went and then went to then we went to the MPR. So the first time I went to the MPR, so we were first met by Susie auntie, who was at the reception at that time. So she was so basically when I went there, she was the first person I met. But when I met her, I felt like I was meeting a long lost friend. मतलब मैं किसी दूसरे बाहर के देश में गया हूँ और बहुत साल बाद I've come to my home. I've come to my hometown. Felt like that. Everyone, even Roxanne, Dr. Anne, we met all of them because so we met all of them. And really felt we are coming after a long time. At least I felt that I was coming back home in the truest sense. So well, they in my MBA they say welcome home, and I really felt that yes, this is home, not the place where I live. So there was instant connection with Roxanne and Dr. Anne. So these were the first few people we met, and it felt as if I was talking. We were again like this that everyone is obviously welcomed there and treated very lovingly, but the bond with them seemed quite completely different. So after we met them, after that we went to the samadhi that very same evening. So there we joined the aarti, we took the darshan. So there we met Dastur uncle, Jal Dastur uncle. And we also met Dolly auntie.
We were new faces, so say they inquired, where are you from, and are you coming for the first time to the samadhi? And we said yes, we are coming for the first time. And they said welcome home. That's they said to us. Then till we were there, we kept on we met Amrit auntie, then Dara uncle, the Dolly auntie, Dastur uncle, like we met, and Dolly auntie said, next time when you're coming, don't come for 2 days or 1 day, come for 4 or 5 days, stay here. And
so I met, there I met her only once. So what happened was she used to come in the morning, at the morning time at the aarti. So I don't know, this is Baba's will, but every time we go to Mehrabad, it is always in winter. And it is quite cold day in the morning. So I get sardi aur khasi jaldi hota hai, to I avoid the cold. So anyway, Dolly auntie wanted to meet me again. So she told me, please bring him in the morning. So I went there in the morning and I met, and she told me, you come in the morning for the aarti. Evening you come, it's okay, but come in the morning. It is beautiful. So this was my only interaction with the Dolly auntie, because my mom met her frequently because she used to go in the morning for the service and the morning aarti. Anyway, in the evening, Dastur uncle, after the prayer, he would always, there's this little thing, a little thing that he always does. So whenever, even now, so whenever after the aarti, he takes me and my father and my mother and my some family members to the tin shed. So in the tin shed there, his dog Annabella is tied. So he gives me some Mari biscuits, tell me to feed Annabella. He makes me like, makes me to, we always do it every time. He always like, used to always take us. Like last time we went was in 2019, because of the pandemic we couldn't go. The last time also he would always take me and to feed Annabelle. I don't know if Annabelle is there. She would always take me to feed in the tin shed. And it was, and he had, so earlier I was planning to do engineering, but then I changed my plan and decided to do economics. So we told the student uncle, I told the student uncle, he asked like, now what are your plans and your future? So I told him that I have decided to take economics. And he was so happy. He told me कि you are the next, you become the next finance minister now. ये सरकार बहुत टैक्स बढ़ा रही है, you become a tax कम करो, हमको परवड़ता नहीं है. And this is a joke that he always makes whenever I meet him. So and then we went to tea at Amrit Auntie's house, and Sanka also invited us to tea. Yeah, so whenever we always we are going and meeting family, and not just like, because I'm an introverted person, so I don't like with the interaction with my people, I don't normally open up that quickly. But even though I didn't speak much with them, I still felt very comfortable and very connected with them. The bond was there. It felt as if I knew them since many births, like पिछले जन्म का कोई नाता है. So then we went then we went twice. So then the uncle told us, why don't you come for Dhuni? We didn't know what Dhuni was. He told us what the Dhuni was, and it's later at 12th of every month. So next time we went for taking Dhuni, keeping Dhuni in mind. So we went and told we met him 2 days earlier before the Dhuni. So yes, are you staying for Dhuni this time? We said yes, uncle, we are staying. So he immediately wrote my name for lighting of the Dhuni. He lights the Dhuni with 5 volunteers. So immediately, no, you are going to come and light the Dhuni. And when we lit the Dhuni, it was a beautiful experience. Like I thought, anyway, Dhuni is basically, you thought it was just like a normal fire. Like it is not, but the experience was so wonderful. When I looked at the Dhuni, I felt I was looking at a living person, because I didn't know what Dhuni was. When first time I lit it, when we lit it with the student uncle, I felt as if I was looking at a living entity. Like Baba in the poem he had written to honor Dhuni, said that the Dhuni is like a peer, like a 6 plane saint, and that's what I really felt. I just felt so calm and relaxed, as if all the burden of my all the burdens have been just removed, just burnt off. So that's an experience at the Dhuni. So we also went to Mehrezad. So at Mehrezad also again the same experience with Shelly, Andy and others that we met. We are meeting after a long time. But then this is something different. So whenever I went to the Samadhi, all sorts of thoughts would come into my mind. Even though I felt relaxed and peaceful, just thoughts and thoughts and thoughts would come. So I was a bit like torn between two sides. I was feeling calm and relaxed, as well as very active and agitated. So this is obvious that when we go to the Samadhi, all of our basically the environment is such that it uh, cleanses our mind and hearts. And so obviously the thoughts were obviously a byproduct, because Baba was basically just burning off all the sanskaras that were there. But when we went to Meherazad in Baba's room, in Maniji and Mehraji's room, I really felt connected with Baba. I could feel him there more than I felt his presence at the Samadhi. And I felt like just staying at Meherazad. Like, I'm wanting to make this my home. But anyway, that's not possible. But Meherazad is a must thing. I must go there. It's so uh, enchanting and so beautiful. So related to Meherazad, actually, not related to Meherazad. On Dastur Uncle, I'm just reminded that Dastur Uncle, when we went there the last time, he took us to Dolly Auntie's tomb near his house. And after that, he gave me a collection of Glow Magazine International. Now, so he told us that this is Dolly Auntie's treasure. Keep it very carefully and read it. Read it and mainly read it. Don't just keep it. He told me that it is Dolly Auntie's treasure. That I have given it to no one else. I'm giving it to you. So you keep it. So that was one of those wonderful experiences. So then after the 2019 visit, the pandemic came, the lockdown came. So the lockdown and the pandemic was obviously is a very difficult time for us psychologically, physically, mentally, to be just cooped up in isolation, and the environment in the first lockdown was so scary. It was I was very much depressed. So 1 month went, my college had stopped because it was quite sudden, the lockdown, and the exams were cancelled and all that. So I had nothing to do. So I did time pass for 1 month. But after that, I was so bored that I nearly got depressed. So once while I got a cold, once while taking medication, while taking a nebulization, a random thought just came into my head, and it came from deep within me. The thought was, how many births more of this life, just how many births more? And I was surprised, because even though I knew of the idea of rebirth and what Baba had said about uh, purpose of life and births, why do we take a rebirth, and all of that I knew. But this came from somewhere else only. It came with the knowledge of experience, as if I've experienced all of that. Even though I don't as such know or remember in my mind to have experienced it, I felt as if I have seen all of this. And with that, I am saying, how many births more? It was so profound. And then I just, what should I say? Uh, Took Baba more seriously. So Baba takes 10 steps towards us to make us his. But all we have to do is make that one step, is to take that one step, and that one step can be very difficult. So this is the time when I tried to take that step. Earlier I used to go to Mehrabad to feel very wonderful there, felt refreshed, and come back and go on with life again. I would say the prayers, but without putting my heart to it, just thinking, like just saying the prayers and getting on with it. The only thing was that every year, if I didn't go to Mehrabad, like if around 1 year mark, at the 1 year mark, I would start feeling so depressed and bored and tired. And whenever I went to Mehrabad, it would go away. And that's all. That's for all. And only for that, in the tourist sense, I would go to Mehrabad for the calm and for the atmosphere. So And somehow I felt something about Baba. I wouldn't call it love. In the truest sense, with the pandemic, with that episode, did I start trying to love him? Because it was, it really meant that I need to go and search for God. Because who will end all these cycles of birth and death? Only him. And after that, I started reading more and more of his discourses and Lord Meher, and started watching videos of various Mandali members. So around also attending various Bombay Center programs on, not attending, watching them on Facebook, and all this we started. So at that time, my connection with Baba was, let's say, it was weak, but I could not feel his presence, but I knew his existence. I knew Baba was really there in the Samadhi. But slowly, as time went by, as I read more and more about Baba, and tried to remember him more and more, and tried to love him more and more, slowly and slowly I started feeling his presence around me every time of the day. I could, as I speak to him in an inner voice. In the inner voice is really the voice of Baba. For us, it is really the voice of God. And I could feel that inner voice guiding me through various aspects of life, through everyday life. Then in December of that same year, I got hospitalized for with a very severe case of chest infection. So I didn't have COVID. It was an ordinary bacterial infection. But it was so bad that things were quite bleak. They had tried all antibiotics and tried everything, but things were not improving. So and one night, around third or fourth day, I was hospitalized. I suddenly started sweating a lot, and it was quite serious. So the doctors were scared, like what is happening. So, and this hospitalization was quite bad. But while I was hospitalized, saw the program, Bombay Center's program on Baba's second road accident, and it moved me so much that I was in quite discomfort, and all that pain and all, and the depressive environment. I used to cry sometimes, but when I saw, I only saw a small part of that video, but I practically started crying. So my mother thought that I'm sad or something, but that was not. I could feel his love so strongly, and also I realized that yes, I'm crying over like my health issue and all that suffering that I'm getting, but how much Baba, for our sake, how much suffering he took upon himself. And this is something that I had seen this line in Bal Natu's book, Bal Natu's book on the conversations with the awakener. And so the line was that all the suffering that we have in our life is only that is necessary. Beyond that, Baba will never allow us to suffer anymore. And for that, he suffered. That sort of acted as a reminder. You see, Baba is there for us. There's no point in crying about what will happen and how much this pain is. It is all Baba's will. Baba is taking care. And then in that, I also read one of Baba's street messages that 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 when your mind stops working, when you cannot see any solution and you completely rely on your heart, and that is when you completely rely on me, you surrender to me, and in that situation I dare not, I dare not leave you alone. And was that had such an impact, because multiple times it happened, the discomfort and the pain was so much, lying down on the bed and on the discomfort of breathing. It used to get so much, but and then my mind would stop, and then I would surrender and say, Baba, please, I cannot bear this anymore. Please help me. And whenever I would just surrender and give up. Baba, you are my only hope. Always that some sort of relief would come. Some sort of relief would always come. And and I really saved it from the bottom of my heart that I could have died then, but it was only Baba who saved my life. And he saved it, and it was here, and it is the truth. Because when I was discharged, I had a feed tube that I put a tube through my mouth, and I couldn't swallow food. So I needed to try to see if we could remove it, but they were not sure if I could swallow food or not. So anyway, so we came home. My mother, when they told you can give soft food, my mother started giving some soft food, and I could swallow much of it. After 10 days, the doctor had called for a follow. They said, see, your tube may go out, may not be removed for the rest of your life, but at least for around a month at least. On the 10th day, we went and doctor assessed, and doctor himself was surprised, herself was surprised. And I was even more surprised. He said, we can remove the tube now. I was like, what? Are you sure? And he said, no, do you want the tube? I said, no, I don't want it. Please remove it. And even then I could eat only soft food, but Baba's, look at Baba's love. Now I can practically eat normal food. There was a time when I couldn't even eat normal rochka, roti, sabji, dal, chawal. Now I can eat everything. It is all because of Baba. I know that it is Baba who got me out of this. So after that, then I realized that some voice in my heart said, see, Baba has got me out because he has some work to do through you. Then I thought, what work? I actually write blogs also, as I mentioned earlier, mentioned to you, Sam Uncle. So I have been writing blogs since 2013, since 8th standard. So my initial attempts were, okay, I have this school level type. So then 10th standard came, I stopped. I tried again in 11th standard. So I wrote some articles and showed it to Amrita auntie and the student uncle also. They also liked it. Then I stopped again. And then in my first year, I started writing again. So the voice in my heart said that you write. And this happened earlier also, that when I felt in my heart that I should not write, and I just forced myself to write, it couldn't come out good. Now what happened was I felt as Baba wants me to write. It just would come as you start writing. I would start writing. Just like that, because if you just start writing, some random rubbish will come out. But I would type, and then like, oh, that Baba is writing through me. And whenever I would come, like the I-ness of mind would come, like, this doesn't make sense. And some gadbad would happen. So when I completely surrendered to a beautiful article would come. And while editing, if I found any mistakes, I realized that when the I-ness of like I as Dhruv came in, there was guaranteed a mistake. Or otherwise, there was not even one mistake. Or like write on autopilot. I'm just typing, but I'm not really conscious, not really using my head to see what I'm writing. So after that, I started writing many philosophical articles, and things started improving. The articles actually started getting better and better. So this reminds me of an incident. So Alobaji used to make like people used to go to them with some problems, and he would give them some solution. Do this, do that, and their problems would be solved. Solved, but sometimes it would happen that their problem would not be solved. So how culturally, when they ask someone, you go and ask Alobaji, why is it that sometimes your solutions don't work? So he said that when Baba speaks to me, it is always correct. But when Aloba speaks to myself, that is when he speaks to himself, then kuch to gadbad hota hai. And I started seeing with my own articles that whenever I wrote it, it would either come ekdam kachra, matlab ekdam average, or there would be full of mistakes. And but whenever I felt that Baba is writing to me, then it would be wonderful. After that, then even more surprising, I started writing poems. Now I'm not really a poet. In school, I used to write some poems for that poetry competition because every it was compulsory for all to participate. But they were not. They didn't even have any rhythm. They like ऐसे lines लिखे रहते थे. So I suddenly started writing a poem. So, my grandfather's birth anniversary. Sorry, my grandparents' anniversary was there. My mother told to write some article for him. You are writing so nicely. I just couldn't get any idea, so wrote a poem. That was not that great. Then there was a full moon night, and I wrote this song type thing with the moon. Then I sent it to Roxanne, Dr. Anne, and a few people. Just shared with them because in the poem, in that song, I compared the moon to the avatar of God and various things that Baba has said about the advents and everything. So look how Baba works. So Dr. Anne told me, see, I am not an expert in poems. You better, so I cannot guide you, but I know a friend of mine who is from Australia who can guide you. Now that friend of ours was Lauren Brown, who is actively associated with the Avatars Board. So she did not meet him in Australia. So she did not meet Baba in person, but she was very close to Francis Babizon, was Baba's close mandali. So I sent it to her. So I sent a very formal email. I don't know who's the person is. I sent a very formal email to her. I'm this, and Dr. Anne must have told me about it. These are a few of my poems. Then a reply came and it was this big, huge email. I thought, Arey Bapre, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? Then I read it, and she actually shared her story, her journey to Baba and her various experiences with Francis Babison. Since then, that sort of bonding, I used to share my experiences. I mean, I still do share my experiences. She would also share my experiences. She would guide me she guides me with my poems, suggest changes or corrections on that. But eventually we have become like pen friends. So now with my college and all that, I don't have many friends, and I used to some feel sad like Baba, I don't have any friends. Like, and then he would say, Arey, their voice in my heart would say, Arey, but these are your friends. These are their real friends. See, I wouldn't say Dasu uncle is like my uncle, but he's more like he's more of a friend. And it's that uh, क्या बोलते हैं जो emptiness I felt. I don't have any friends. Look what my other children or other people of my age are doing. But then I think, I'm doing something far better than most other people. So, so do you mind if I read one of my poems?
Please do.
So this is a poem that I have written. So the name of the poem is The Valley of Sun. So this sort of is poem which describes the journey of the soul, the journey of the soul towards realization, the involution process. So I'll start reading. The Valley of Sun. The Valley of Sun lay ahead, full of birds and song. Mists and cool dews in it lay. The valley contains a forest, full of treasures and measures, yet the treasures were no treasure at all. The path was difficult, full of twists and turns, misses and ferns, and the valleys of light. Misleading they are, for they are just like the valley of sun. But don't be fooled, O traveler, for they are traps with no treasure at all. Tempting though they may seem, they are but a shadow of the valley of sun. Be wary, O traveler. The path ahead is difficult, but now I see the valley of sun. But oh traveler, you need a guide to reach it. Rarely does a guide come from the valley of sun, but come they do. Find one and be merry. Till then, farewell, O traveler. Off I go to the valley of sun.
Jai Baba, very nice.
So I have one more. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this one is called the land of Mehrabad. So I basically this describes the experience one feels at the Samadhi when we take darshan there. So the land of Mehrabad. As I walk amongst the trees on the path by myself towards the hill, the wind sighs and the leaves, as if in joy, welcome me home with their loud rustle and gentle waving. On the hill, a squirrel squeaks as it flits around here and there, like my thoughts as they pass hither and thither. Yet my heart, like the ancient neem tree, old and familiar companion on the hill, standing, watching. Pilgrims like me is at rest. There, the wind sighs again as I look at you, beloved Lord, waiting for me. Silently, I can only weep as I dissolve in your loving embrace, knowing the purpose of my life fulfilled on the hill in Mehrabad.
Nice.
So now my mother will speak. Jai Baba.
Before you go away, I would like to tell you a few things, Dhruv. Number
Yes, sir.
one,
Yes.
कैसे बताऊं तुमको? I feel personally कि you are Baba's special. Baba's special. For sure. आपका चेहरा इतना innocent है, जरा थोड़ा पॉजी भी है, but it's nice.
Yes. Yes.
But only two things that I would like to tell you is try and remain cheerful most of the times, because that would please Baba. I know it is easier said than done.
Yeah.
तो problems होते हैं, but still try and remain cheerful. ऐसे ये जो smile है ना, ये टूटेला दांत और ये बस ये ऐसा बनाए रख.
Yes.
Secondly, आप जब भी कोई medication खाओ ना, whenever you take your medicines, बाबा का नाम लेके खाना.
Yes.
In this world, there are two things that help you to heal. One is dawa, but more than the dawa is the dua. समझे?
Yes,
So, बाबा
yes.
का नाम लेके medicine खाना. Also, when you go to the doctors for consultation or anything, तो अपने मन ही मन में बाबा का नाम लेते रहना. Why? Because then Baba would put the right kind of medicines in that fellow's head for you. So these are the few things which I wanted to tell you. And of course, जब भी आप finance minister बन जाओ, तो थोड़ा tax कम करना. Jai Baba.
Yes, Baba.
Does anyone have any questions? Ano Shirani, yes. Jai Baba. Go ahead. Beautiful poem. Keep your writing through. Yasmin Haradwala, Haji.
Jai Baba, very beautiful poem. Love to hear it.
Thank you.
How old are you? How old are you? I didn't get it.
I am 21 years old.
It's so good that you've come to Baba at such a young age. It's very nice. We enjoyed your talk. Thank you. Jai Baba.
Okay.
Anybody else wants to fire any questions at this young man?
questions. Just beautiful, Dhruv.
Parent Jasumani, Haji, bolo.
So happy to hear your.
Speak up a bit louder, darling. We can't hear you.
That's my problem.
Maybe it's not your problem. It is because we are all deaf around here.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, because I'm on two gadgets here. Just beautiful. Lovely to hear your life story with Baba and your conviction of how Baba is the only one. And I love hearing that part from you. And I love your poems. They're beautiful. Keep writing. At this young age, keep writing some beautiful work. Baba, take good care of you always. He's with you. And we are with you. Now that you see you, we are with you.
Dhruv, there's one thing I want to ask you.
Yes.
What is your most treasured moment with Baba?
But
Something that you will always remember.
I didn't get it, Sam. Can you repeat, please?
What is your most treasured, manje, most
Yes.
moment
Yes.
with Baba? Something which you will never ever forget.
Something there are many experiences, but so there's this experience that I have had. So actually, there are many experiences.
But one special thing which you will never ever forget. ऐसा कोई है क्या?
Yes. So so when we had gone to Mehrabad, so on Christmas, Shelly auntie had. So they used to give gift packets at Merizat. So my Indra auntie, I think, had
actually, there is a tradition. There was a tradition at Merazat to distribute packets, prasad packets on the Christmas Eve.
Yes, somebody would dress up like Santa Claus and then give out.
Yeah, and it was stopped in, I think, somewhere in 2018.
Oh, acha.
It is stopped now. It is no more. And we happened to be there in somewhere October 2018. And Indra Jaspal auntie, she said that she has duty for Christmas at Merazad, and prasad packets will be distributed. So we requested her to keep one for Dhruv. So when we went in 2019, she handed over the packet to us, and she handed over to me, my husband, and Dhruv. And Dhruv had a very special message in that packet, like trust God completely, and He will solve all your difficulties.
Shabash. Shabash.
And at that time, I was going through a bit of a difficult phase at college and life, because and I was new in my stream. So I was in science stream earlier. I had taken arts later, so I was completely new. So I didn't know anyone. So this sort of came at a right moment. And so as Baba thinking, don't worry, I'm there. I will take care. And he really did take care. Things really did improve. And in the truest sense, even in this lockdown, even with all of these problems, I really feel that I've lived a far meaningful life in the past 1 year. Not just 1 year, actually, ever since Baba came into my life. I've lived a far meaningful life than I've lived in my entire in the other years, years before Baba came into my life. He really changed my life. He really made it worth living, I would say.
Something we all of us have to learn from you. We all of us have to learn from you. Thank you very much, Dhruv. Mrs. Rupa
Yeah.
Shirpurkar,
Jai
I
Baba.
Jai
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Your face looks familiar. I must have seen you at Mehrabad or somewhere.
Yeah.
We must have met. Yes.
Yeah. Because I come for, whenever we visit Mehrabad, I am there for the morning service and morning aarti, evening aarti. So Jai Baba. Now, as Dhruv told that through books of Ruzbin Bharucha, actually we were introduced to Baba, and like after reading about Baba, there was an instant, a sort of an attraction that I should know more about Baba, and I should know where the Samadhi is and all about it. And in the meantime, I saw that video, and then it was like, like I have to go, irrespective of what. I'm saying how to take Dhruva, how to go, and I don't know, but I have to go. That's it. That's all we knew. So we went there. The first time when we went there, we were there for just 10 minutes or so, and we took the darshan, and we came back to Mumbai. And then we checked out with the NPR, and they allowed us to stay. And we went there. And, the most wonderful part about it is that in NPR, the ramps, the toilets, everything was it was something that we never expected. Like they were so handicap friendly that we had absolutely not a single bit of trouble. So that really gave us the hint that Baba is, see the extent Baba is going to make sure that his lovers are comfortable. And that then we went to the Samadhi, we took the darshan. And when we came back, actually, initially, we have taken, like myself, his father, and my mother-in-law, we had taken initiation from Ramakrishna Mission, and like Guru Mantra we have taken from Ramakrishna Mission. So when we went to the Samadhi, we took the darshan, and then when we came back, like the thought was like kept on coming in my mind that if I have taken Guru Mantra from there, and I'm feeling so attracted towards Baba, is it right? Is it wrong? Or I don't know what it is. And I slept that night, and round about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, I was like half asleep. My just eyes opened, and in front of my bed, there is a photo of, in the rooms there are photos of Baba with the garland. So that photo was there, and I could like it was like a slideshow for me. Like I saw Baba's photo, then Ramakrishna Paramahan's photo, then came Sarda Mata's photo, and then again I came Mer Baba's photo. So it was an indication from Baba himself that we are no different. You have come at the right place, and we are taking care of you. So don't worry, and go ahead and and accept our love. That is what that was like a clear message to us. And then that gave me the what do you say a confidence that yes, I should go ahead, I should go to Mehrabad, I should do something more about it. And then we started going to Mehrabad off and on, sometimes we went twice a year, sometimes we went once a year. Once when we went there, Dhruv was in 12th standard, and we had been there in October, and in December, like Advocate Krush Gandhi, we had gone to meet him, and he said that you should go to Mehrabad for 10 days. I said, he's in 12, his dad doesn't have holidays, and we really don't know how we are going to go there. When we inquired, they said no. But we still sent a letter to the booking office. And to our surprise, we got our bookings. And on the third day, we left Mumbai for 10 days stay at Mehrabad. And it was like, we were like, I'm saying we were completely blown off that in 3 days we are off to Mehrabad. And that year we attended Mani Auntie's birthday celebrations, Mera Auntie's birthday celebrations. And when we were there, one day Dastur uncle came in NPR and he handed over Dhruva the set of books of Glow. And he said, this is Dolly Auntie's treasure. And you make sure you read it and you keep it, you maintain the treasure. So that was a very, very touching moment. And that same very night, Dr. Anne came and met us, and she handed over Eruch uncle's book. That's how it was. And she said, you go through, I'm saying, you read this book, and knowing the experiences, I'm saying, knowing what Mandali actually experienced will give you more clarity than keeping on listening to different people and making your opinions. So listen to Mandali videos, see Mandali videos, then read this book. And she also gave one more book that was The Ocean of Love, Savak Kotwal's book. And we read those all books, and like it was we felt the love in our hearts that Baba was showering on us, because the thing is that after going through all the difficulties health-wise, like Dhruv being a muscular dystrophy patient, and he was on wheelchair at the age of 7. And from the age of 7, he is on a wheelchair. And the various difficulties and issues like accepting the disease, knowing the disease, finding the morale that we have to fight the disease. And all these came in phases in our life. And in that, truly speaking, muscular dystrophy was not much known in the society. And they used to call him bichara, pity, and all sorts of things used to happen. And Dhruv is my only child. And so we were absolutely stressed out. And there, when we first time went to Mehrabad to stay at NPR and went to Samadhi, and the way everybody greeted us, like it was for me, and how, like after meeting Dr. Anand, it was like, this is the place where we wanted to come. Sorry.
That's okay. That's perfectly all right.
We wanted to come, and this is our home. So this was the first, what do you say, first day. Then in that we took a like photo that is laminated of Baba, such big, and I have put it in my Devghar. And whenever I go in the Devghar, I pass, I can see Baba's eyes moving.
Oh,
I can see like whatever angle I see, I can feel Baba is watching me. So that, like, from, and I thought I was having hallucination, but this is the experience of everybody that sees this photo, that they feel the eyes are watching them. And that gave us an inspiration that these like special children whom we come across or whom we meet, we specially make it a point to tell about Baba and to share our experiences about Mehrabad, Mehrazad with them, so that they can also feel the love, because they are like, what do you say, pyase, like
Thirsty.
thirsty. They because the way the society sometimes treats them, it really is very bad, and they need the love. They want love, and I said, if you want, you will find it nowhere else in the society. But go to Baba Samadhi, and I'm sure you will find what you are searching for. And this is what we tell most of the patients and their parents also. Once in your lifetime, please go to the Samadhi, take darshan, and then tell us that you did not feel the love. It is so wonderful. And then actually, then we had one more experience. I had one more experience, like we all were there. Like we asked Alan uncle to bake us a half a tray of cake so that we can distribute it at the Samadhi as prasad. And it was morning time. We were supposed to leave for Mumbai, but we decided that we'll distribute the prasad and then we'll leave for Mumbai. And as Dhruv was entering the Samadhi, I asked my husband, you pick up a flower from the offered flowers and keep it for Dhruv as prasad. And he brought, he got a rose which was there when he touched his forehead. It was there at his forehead only. So he brought it out, and I was standing there, and then man of 40s or 50s, like wearing sadra, pajama, white topi, and he walked in, and I could feel that he was working very hard, because he was smelling and like typical people from typically the smell that you get from people who stay in villages and all, who work hard. And so he went inside the Samadhi, he took darshan, he came outside, and I offered him the prasad. He said, like he just said prasad. I gave him one more piece of prasad. He said, no, I want that flower that you picked up.
Oh.
And I want that flower as prasad because my daughter cannot speak and I want it for her. I asked my husband to immediately give it, and I handed over to him. And after he left, I realized it was my test taken by Baba to see if I could share whatever I had with him. So it was like an experience which, and after after that we distributed the prasad, we left for Mumbai, we came back, and after we came back, I was reading this the book that Dr. Anne had given me. That's how it was. And we came across that second chapter, berries, bear. In that, he has told about an incident that has happened in Hamirpur, and where Baba was staying with his mandali, and there was a bear ka ped in the compound.
Jamun.
Jamun. And they were so ripe that they were falling down. So Gustaji and picked up one bear and ate it, and the rest of the men mandali did it. And then Baba came to know, and fallen on the ground. And Baba came to know, and then Baba called everybody, and he explained it. Baba asked some questions and all, and in that Baba said this, that yes, the whole creation is mine, and yet the world's laws must be followed. It is not right in the world to take something that does not belong to you without the permission of the owner. This is true in the world, and it applies even more with those who are living with me. They should not think that they are above the laws. this is the message that we carried home. And it immediately struck to me the mistake I had done and how I had hurt Baba by picking up that flower. And then immediately, like I asked for his forgiveness. And there is one more message that he clearly gave, that he lives in the Samadhi and he is always with us, so that our conscience doesn't make any mistakes. We should listen to our conscience and make sure that we are not doing anything that will hurt or offend Baba. So we have to be very careful in our behavior. This is the big lesson. Baba gave it in a very, very loving manner, which was very heart touching, that yes, we should be very careful, and we should always think twice if we are doing something out of the blue or something like that. And then there's one more thing that when Dhruv was admitted, we were told by the doctors that we need to put him on a ventilator, and maybe he'll have to go home with the ventilator. And once the ventilator is put, there's no way the ventilator can be removed because he won't survive. That is what we were told. So we said, no, we don't want any ventilators. He has already suffered too much. And whatever we can do by they call it BiPAP, non-invasive ventilator, we'll manage with that. And whatever happens, it's Baba's wish. That is all. And we left it to Baba. Baba, whatever you want to do with him, do. We won't interfere. And so by grace of Baba, he came back home with the tube. The tube was removed on the 10th day. And my younger sister, she was going to Shirdi, and she said while coming, she was going to Mehrabad. So I called Roxanne at MTR, and I asked that I want the Duni Angara, and can you ask the Dastur uncle if it is possible that we can get it. She talked to Dastur uncle, and Dastur uncle kept a packet ready for Dhruva. And like my sister went there, she picked up the packet, and they came back. And in the packet, Dastur uncle had sent Dolly auntie's scarf, chocolates, and Dhuni Angara. And he after you receive the packet, please give a call. And when he called him, he said, make sure that you are keeping the scarf with you all the time, so that you will be reminded of her love to you.
What?
So that was a beautiful experience. And this is how I feel Baba works. Like he works through mediums and make sure that the love reaches us at by any means. There's no particular that it can go through anything. It can go through a letter. It can go through some person. And Dhruv had mentioned about that Christmas packets. And in that Christmas packet, I had the message that the powerhouse will never fail as long as the wires take care of their connection with it. This was the message for me. And truly speaking, in the Corona phase, which was a very difficult phase, because keeping Dhruva in a cocoon, so to protect him from Corona, and was a huge task. And Baba made sure that the maids were not there, and all sorts of society restrictions, this, that. But by the end of the second month, by Baba's grace, I got my maid back, and she started working, because it was otherwise very difficult to take care of Dhruva, because his father had his office, and I was taking care of Dhruva, taking care of the house, and lots of things. So and my own health issues had propped up, and all sorts of problems. So that time I literally used to stand in front of that Baba's photo and used to cry that I can't pull on, and used to make sure help comes from some tits bits. It used to come from somewhere or the other, and make sure I could pull on. the same happened after Dhruva was admitted. Like it was out of the blue. The doctors had given up hope, and all sorts of issues were there. And literally, I used to stand in front of the frame and say, I can't carry on. But Baba used to give the strength to carry on.
थोड़ा सा पानी पी लीजिए if you like.
Baba used to give us the strength to carry on. So that's how we pulled through the Corona phase. And now also, like truly speaking, that we watch all the programs of Bombay Center, Babaful Thursdays, then Cyrus Uncle's reading, book reading, then Jimmy Uncle's book reading, and we attend all through. We like through on virtual darshan. We take virtual darshan of Baba every day. Attend virtual aarti that is transmitted at 7 o'clock in the evening, and it really like we feel a strong connection with Baba in such a way that it's just like nowadays. It's like I have to ask, I have to not even ask at times Baba, and the problem is sorted out, or the solution is there somewhere around the corner. I have to just search it, and he makes sure that you you remember him, and like he actually, instead of he makes sure that we don't leave his daman at any cost. That is the experience that we have more often, like these days. So every now and then. So even when Dhruv's poems were there, he was writing his poems, and he got guidance from Lauren G, and the way he has improved, and nowadays, like Dhruv is truly speaking, Dhruv is our parent and we are his children. This is how it goes, because every time any situation you say, Baba said this, so you have to listen to him, you have to do this, you have to do that. So this is how it goes now. Like he is a parent and we are the children. And we now long to go to Mehrabad, but let's see how let's see, in the sense we are waiting for Baba's call to allow us to take his darshan. That is all I can say. And I'm very thankful, like actually, truly speaking, that this is the first time I'm speaking on any online forum. I have never spoken earlier, and I was pretty nervous when Dhruv said, "You are going to speak." I said, "What? I don't know how to speak." And somehow
you've done a wonderful job. You've done a wonderful job.
Baba has.
It is not you who is speaking.
Yeah, it is Baba who is making me speak.
Speaking through you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Always remember that. Always remember.
Yeah.
And if you remember that, you will never feel nervous.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would also thank you and
उसकी जरूरत नहीं है, वो उसकी जरूरत.
Jenny auntie, like see, we actually, what happened last Thursday, we watched the Babaful Thursday and program, and I said to Dhruva, why don't you speak? Don't ask me to speak. You, why don't you share your experience at the program? And he immediately wrote the mail, and the reply came from your side also. And
very nice. Yes, very nice. I am so happy that you all volunteered, because we are looking for people to come and share. And most of these people are very conjuice. They don't want to share their experiences. And here is Dhruv and you. आप लोग दोनों इतने खुले दिल से सब कुछ शेयर किया. It is wonderful. It is really wonderful. It's really wonderful.
All Baba's grace. That's all I would say.
Absolutely, absolutely. ये जो आपने कहा ना पहले beginning में, like a slide show, Baba's picture, and then बहुत लोगों को ये हुआ है.
Okay.
A lot of people have experienced this. I have met a few in Hamirpur and various other people कि जो एक कोई राम भक्त थे तो उनको कभी राम दिखाई देते थे, फिर ऐसे बाबा 3-4 टाइम हुआ तो then that fellow was convinced कि yes, he is what he claims to be. And another thing about that picture, where you feel that he is looking at you from wherever you are.
Yeah.
ये इनकी एक खूबी है. This is, कैसे बोलूं मैं? This is his signature style or whatever you call it. हमारे सेंटर पे भी जो बड़ा पिक्चर है, उसके सामने मैं कभी जहां भी खड़ा रहता हूं, इधर उधर आगे पीछे, I always feel कि he's watching us. He's watching us. So my father used to say कि हजारों पंडित, हजारों श्याने, बाबा की बातें बाबा ही जाने.
वही जाने.
So हम तो बस ये उनके प्रेम में बने रहना है. We want to stay in his love. And somebody is asking for your name. Your name is Rupa. Dhruv's mother's name is Rupa. Incidentally, Dhruv का नाम जो है वो ध्रुव तारा.
Dhruv Tara.
And if you ever come across one of Madhusudan's bhajans, उसमें ये he is mentioned about this. मिले ध्रुव तारा, धर्मो कर्मो का बाजे नकारा. ये मधुसूदन के भजन में है. कभी आप सुनना तो ध्रुव को पकड़ लेना फिर वहां से.
Because when we had kept Dhruv's name, we were told that Dhruv Tara, then Dhruv Tara is alone, and then after he was detected, why did you keep Dhruv Tara? Now he'll be a Dhruv Tara. I said, I don't mind being a Dhruv Tara. He'll be a Dhruv Tara. Here, I would like to mention one more. We had also met Khandagre Kaka at the Samadhi. When we had gone there for 10 days, Khandagre Kaka had shared a lot of experiences of his with us, and he was really very happy for Dhruva, and used to be very every time used to ask, is he okay, is he fine, is he comfortable? And even I would also like to I would like to also mention Roxanne, who takes care of India. She every time she will make sure that extra mattresses if required for Dhruva and everything, she'll make sure he is comfortable at any cost, and they really take care of him so well that I had once told even Dr. Anne that I have traveled to many places, but the love that we got here and the way Dhruva is taken care here, and because we faced a lot of extreme weather, so because of his health conditions from people. So what we felt here was like divine. You cannot have any other word. It's just divine. And she literally had tears in her eyes, and she said that I am very happy that we could do, I'm saying we could follow the role of the Mandali, that we could make, I'm saying we could share our love with you. And she was very happy, uh, like she was very happy to meet our family, and because she was the one who actually, when we first time went to MPR, she had called up from, because trust office had asked her to call. Booking office had asked her to call to check about Dhruva's condition and all, and then we were given accommodation in MPR. So, like, she was instrumental in allowing us to have accommodation in.
She's a
MPR.
fine lady. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And now also, like, Dhruv is also a part of the group Effort and Grace. So a workshop. So he keeps on meeting her in that meeting every Saturday. They have it every Saturdays that they have it.
I would like to mention a small joke about Anna Khandale. You know, his name was Anna Khandale, ne?
हाँ,
तो एक दिन ऐसे ही मैं समाधि पे बैठा था, तो मेरी बाजू में एक जेंटलमैन थे, वो मेरे को बोल रहे, ये ऐना खंडाले कसी दिसते? ऐना खंडाले नहीं है, ये अन्ना खंडाले. He really thought it was some ऐना ऐसा हो गया था. Mayor Daruwala wants to ask some question. Go ahead.
yeah.
Dhruv, I want to ask you something. Whenever you write you're on your this thing, have you ever seen Baba's face falling on your paper when you're writing?
Not exactly, but I have had a few dreams where Baba had come in my dream. So it was something was going on. There were various Mandali members, they were playing songs and something. I had dreams, and on the wall near the ceiling fan, there's actually a little. I was lying down and observed once. So on the ceiling fan, there's a little portrait of Baba. And I was like, the wall. It was a coincidence or what, I don't know. But the shadow on the wall falls such when we switch on the light. A little you can see Baba's face.
No, because sometimes when you're writing, you're thinking of something, of writing a certain thing, and Baba tries and helps us and notice on writing. That is why I'm asking you this. That is
Okay,
why.
thank you, Jai Baba. Ram Nori, come in, please.
Yes, sir. Dhruv, thank you very much for sharing your story. And I just wanted to add one thing to your name, Dhruv. I'm not going to go into the story why it is, but Dhruv is known and famous for surrendering all his worries to the Lord.
Sorry, can you repeat that, please, Ram?
Dhruv is known for surrendering all his worries to the Lord.
Ah.
God. Yeah, that's what he was. That's why he said he was blessed that he'll always shine as a star.
Okay, sir. Jai Baba. Somebody else wanted to say something? किसी का हाथ था? दिलशद Kapadia, हाँ जी.
I first want to address Rupa ji.
Yeah.
Rupa, the way you have gone about sharing and the way you have understood and grasped what is happening in your life through Dhruv, I really commend you. And I really, really appreciate the courage that you are showing, because for any mother, it is in any case a difficult and a daunting task to bring up kids. And in the midst of that, you have health challenges of Dhruv as well as yours. So more power to you, and your narration was very, very touching. When you said thing, when you said that Baba somewhere along, sends a help, when you least expect it, or even you've not asked it, also he sends. And the
Yeah.
same I too also experience. So thank you so much for such a touching narration, and more power to you as a mother.
Thank you. It's all Baba's grace, because his power pulls you, power in the sense his strength, that he gives you, pulls you through the worst difficult situations, because he's there along with you, pulling you, pulling you through by giving you the strength, and he himself is there with you, making sure that you are not hurt at any cost. So that
I
is
wanted to also tell Dhruv that, Dhruv, when you talk, instead of 21, you sound like 121.
no,
So
ma'am,
much of
no.
wisdom at your age. So nice that you shared. And since Rupa ji mentioned that you've been attending the Bombay Center programs, I would
Yeah.
encourage you to also take part in the live sessions, and that way, contribute and take an active participation.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I will try my best. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you, Dilshad. Thank you very much. It's time up now, but if I may ask all of us for a little extension, I would like to listen to a song sung by Danish Irani, just a song. It's called I Walk with the King Meher Baba. I'll give you the background why I like this song so much. उनके grandfather के funeral पे हम लोग गए थे, and of course all the prayers and all were offered, and after everything was over, this man stands up, और सच्चे दिल से the way he recited this, it was so beautiful. It was beyond all those prayers that had gone on. So I would request Danish Irani to please share this song with us.
Jai Baba. In sorrow I wander, my spirit oppressed, but now
Danish, you froze.
Danish, you're frozen. Danish? Danish, you're frozen. Jai Baba, everybody. Can you all hear us? Can you all hear me?
Very much.
Okay. I don't know what the technical glitch is. Perhaps Baba doesn't want the song to come through. So, as per the wish of a lot of people, we should finish off by 7 o'clock. So, I would request Asha Parekh, please recite any aarti of her choice to end the program.
Thank you, Sam uncle. Jai
Yeah.
Meher Baba. I am singing that Adi Sachetan.
Go ahead.
हुआ लहर से कि जिसकी सृष्टि का निर्माण, उसकी दैवी अनंत का कैसे हो अनुमान। आदि सचेतन शांति निकेतन, नमो ब्रह्म आवो, मेहर प्रभु आरती अपनाओ, मेहर प्रभु आरती अपनाओ। प्रेम दीप में हिये जलाओ, प्रेम दीप में हिये जलाओ, निविड़ अंधेरा मिटता पाओ, अपना सब कुछ तुम्हें चढ़ाओ, तुम मुझको सरसाओ, मेहर प्रभु आरती अपनाओ, मेहर प्रभु आरती अपनाओ। जीवन की हर सांस हमारी बन जाए प्रभु गति तुम्हारी, जीवन की हर सांस हमारी बन जाए प्रभु गति तुम्हारी। हे करुणा कर लीलाधारी, तुम करुणा बरसाओ, मेहर प्रभु आरती अपनाओ, मेहर प्रभु आरती अपनाओ। बने आरती जीवन मेरा, आदि अंत का लय हो घेरा, खुले नयन और दिखे सवेरा, तुम मुझ में छा जाओ, मेहर प्रभु आरती अपनाओ, मेहर प्रभु आरती अपनाओ। आदि सचेतन शांति निकेतन, नमो ब्रह्म आओ, मेहर प्रभु आरती अपनाओ, मेहर प्रभु आरती अपनाओ, मेहर प्रभु आरती अपनाओ। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय, अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय, अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। Everybody, thank you.
Jai Baba, everybody. I just want to say a few things. One is कि ये अपना जो दानिश ईरानी है, he is really Baba's
Sam,
favorite.
I'm sorry, I got logged out. I'm back.
I know that.
But next time, Sam.
You are Baba's favorite. You didn't want to do this, and yet I forced you. So Baba, आराम से उस पे.
No, my
Please,
internet
Sadia.
got. Sorry, my internet.
That's perfectly all right. But thank you so much for hosting today's program, Danish.
Not at all.
And I hope you join us some other time, and
Definitely.
next Thursday probably, and we'll take it further from there on.
Okay.
Everybody else, anybody wants to say anything or hold your peace?